The TikTok ban is almost certainly going to happen at this point, and that really sucks for me as a creator on this app. My name is Chris Goldsmith. I am an Army veteran, and I'm the founder of Task Force Butler Institute and Veterans Fighting Fascism. If I'm showing up in your For You page, it's probably because you're concerned about the rise of fascism here in the United States, and you want to know what to do about it, right? I only started using this app in the middle of September 2024. I had been kind of lurking on it for about a year. And personally, I just hate video as a medium because I'm a researcher. What I do is I track domestic extremists. I study the way that people are radicalized primarily online. And video is a resource-intensive medium for me, not just to study, but also to produce. It takes a lot of time for me to come up with an idea for a video, come up with what I'm going to say, do a couple takes because I trip over my words, record it, and then edit it, right? But TikTok has been the only platform that I have figured out how to use in a way that actually builds an audience. And it makes it worth my time because I'm part of the creators program. After studying TikTok as a consumer for a year, I figured out the things that make a video attractive to the For You page. I'm holding my microphone in the way that I'm holding it because I noticed that a lot of creators who have followings do this, and for some reason, people seem to respond to this. I opened this video with a hook. I know from my own For You page that right now, when people are saying the TikTok ban, their video is getting shown to thousands of people, right? I have figured out how to use this platform, and it works for me. And laying it all out there, I went from, just a few hundred followers from a dormant account that I had opened a couple of years ago to 110,000 followers in about 2 months because I figured this thing out. And for reference, I've made about $4,500 in the last 2 months on this app because I figured out how to engage with the algorithm and produce content that you would want to listen to. Now, a lot of my followers have been encouraging me to start posting on other apps, and I have. I've been posting the same videos that I'm creating for TikTok on YouTube, on Instagram, on Threads, on Blue Sky. I just created a Lemon8 account, which is TikTok associated because it's also owned by ByteDance, and it's unclear whether or not that's going to get banned. But to be totally honest, I don't think that I am going to be able to figure out any new app in a way that makes it worth my time. There are a lot of creators on this app who have tried to create followings across a whole spectrum of apps, right? Everything from the Meta-owned ones to Twitter to YouTube. But the content that we create for this app just simply doesn't get rewarded algorithmically the same way on those apps as it does here. Now, by way of background, I've been in the nonprofit world for a long time, and I came onto this app not necessarily with an intent to make an income, but when I started, it became clear that this is worth my time. Back in the day before the blue check got corrupted by all these neo-Yazis and Elon Musk, I was a blue check Twitter account, and that allowed me to be really effective with my advocacy. I am a veterans advocate. Most of my adult life has been, actually my entire adult life, aside from my time in the military, has been in the nonprofit world, either volunteering or running a nonprofit or working for a nonprofit, and the money's not that great. TikTok bringing in an extra $2,000 to $2,500 a month for me is like a pretty big deal. That's a life changer. And though I never made any money on Twitter, the reward was for me for using that app was that I was able to do things like build movements to get legislation passed, right? Like in a former life when I was working for Vietnam Veterans of America, before I was really entrenched in this disinformation and extremism research world, I was working on things like veterans healthcare, veterans access to the VA, the Forever GI Bill. I am the guy who figured out the budgetary trick to make it so that every veteran who's currently serving today can wait until the time is right. If they're eligible for the GI Bill when they get out, they don't have to use it within 15 years like my generation did, right? Like that's the kind of thing that Twitter helped me do back when Twitter was in its prime. Elon Musk took over, and naturally being someone who hunts neo-Yazis for a living and studies extremism, I lost an account that, though I wasn't making money from it, was extremely valuable to me. And it sucks that here I am, about a month from losing this app where I think I've been able to get some good advocacy done here. So why am I making this video other than to complain, woe is me, I'm losing a source of income? It really goes back to my primary work today, and that is fighting fascism. And as someone who comes out of the national security world, whose friends are all in the NatSec world, it might sound funny for a guy like me to be advocating for a Chinese-owned app, right? I've literally written giant reports on the threat that China poses to my community, service members, veterans, people from the national security community, etc. But why this takeover, this ending of TikTok, is so worrying to me on a grander scale is because it's being led by forces who want the data. They want my data. They want your data. And these American CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, we have seen what they will do with that data. The community of left-wing influencers, if you want to call me that, is really small compared to the vast ecosystem on the right. Billionaires like Peter Thiel and the Koch brothers have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in seeding a right-wing media echo chamber that has been really dominant on social media for 10 plus years. Like algorithmically, because it's based on fear and it's based on outrage, all social media platforms in one way or another inevitably make it so that right-wing voices are amplified further than people like me on the left who want to solve problems, not just cry about, whatever thing everybody's afraid of at the moment. Right? The people who are about literally peace and love and finding community, we are at a major disadvantage online because of the way that the algorithm works. The right wing, who is demonizing other human beings, other groups of people based on their background, their identity, they will always have an advantage. TikTok, this Chinese-owned app, has really been kind of an exception. It has been the only place where creators who aren't right-wing agitators have been able to build up an authentic, real community relatively quickly, right? Again, I only started using this app, posting videos regularly, 2.5 months ago, and I've got 110,000 followers, and TikTok has already paid me $4,500 or so, right? I have a financial incentive to keep creating on this app that is going to be taken away. Now, let's be clear about the TikTok ban. The reason for the TikTok ban is not so that China no longer has access to Americans' data. It's so that powerful American CEOs, the competitors, are going to get access to this data. It is forcing ByteDance to hand over their company to their competitors. But that's not the point. The point is that someone like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Donald Trump can take advantage of a fire sale, can buy this app, and cut off the activism and the education that we on the left have been able to engage in on this app. So look, if you know who I am, if you want to follow me and just about every other creator, we have other ways to follow us if you just go to our TikTok page. I do love making a difference, educating people and motivating people to work towards positive solutions. But realistically, I know that I'm not going to thrive on YouTube because I don't have the money to buy a studio and pay an editor and do these really high quality horizontal videos. I don't mean to sound defeatist, but I don't see this app surviving. And if it does, it's going to get bought by an Elon Musk, a Steve Mnuchin, or a Donald Trump. Someone whose entire intent is to snuff out progressive, liberal, left-wing voices and to replace them with people like Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk, and Ben Shapiro. Because that's money and that's power to them. And us, the opposition, the grassroots, we're a threat to them.